Hello everybody and welcome back to the match preview for Pompey versus Derby. It's a massive top of the table clash on Tuesday at Fratton Park, where first place Pompey take on second place Derby. 5 points separate the sides going into it, but Portsmouth do have a game in hand, which is against Barnsley on the 16th of April. The stakes couldn't be higher for this game, and Sky Sports knew this weeks ago when they selected it to be televised. A win could be a massive step forward for either team, so let's look at how this game could go and why this is such a massive match. Back in September at Pride Park, the spoils were shared after a quiet game goal-wise until the 86th minute, where Collins converted from the spots but Derby ahead, before Colby Bishop scored a last-minute equaliser to give us a well-deserved point. It was a game which Pompey dominated for the most part with 57% possession and 14 shots to Derby's 9. You can see from the attacking momentum graph that we controlled it for large spells of the game. Both teams underperformed their XG, Derby with 2.40 and Pompey with 2.17. Overall, a draw was probably a fair outcome of the game. Derby have the most wins when you look at head-to-head, but quite often it ends in a draw, just like the last 3 times we've played them. Imagine the scenes when Paul Warne and John Messino bring pencils and sketchbooks to the dressing rooms. Because they've drawn the last 3 times they've played each other. So draw like drawing pencils and draw like you score the same amount of goals as each other. So it's level. Two types, 2 different, but it's a joke. Although we beat them 2-1 in the League Cup in 2015, we haven't beat them in the league since 2008 with a 3-1 win in the Premier League. This could be one of the biggest games in Pompey's history for years. A win would see us go 8 points clear of Derby with a game in hand, but a loss would give Derby a chance to overtake us in the final weeks. Both teams come into this having won last time out on Good Friday, Pompey at Wycombe, Derby at home to Blackpool. In the last 5 games, Derby have dropped 3 points, which came from a loss to Northampton, getting 12 from a possible 15, whereas Pompey come into only dropping 1 point in the last 5. Getting 14 from 15 points. Looking at each team's season so far, we know that Pompey are 1 place higher than Derby in the table. Also, they've won the same amount of games, but Pompey have only lost 4 compared to Derby's 10. In terms of goals per match, Derby have slightly more, averaging 1.71 to Pompey's 1.65. However, Pompey do edge Derby slightly when it comes to goals conceded per game, 0.82 to Derby's 0.85. Both teams have 18 clean sheets this season, but Pompey have conceded 2 less over the course of the season, but Pompey have scored 4 less. The odds say Pompey have a 52% chance of winning and Derby a 33% chance. Pompey also have a 13-game unbeaten streak, the 3rd longest in the EFL. Also, by the time Pompey and Derby kick off, we will know how the other results went around League One. Both teams go into the tie with their fair share of injuries. Most notably for Derby, there's no fit left back, so if we're able to isolate Kamara again, Pompey could cause some real problems. The winger already has 6 goals and 10 assists in 32 starts, so him staying wide and high and cutting in to shoot or cross could prove to be the difference in a tight game like this. The danger man for Derby will be Mendez Lang, who already has 23 goals and assists this season, and is currently top of the League One assist table with 15. He's also averaging a 7.47 match rating on Footmob. It looked like the winger might have been injured and would miss this game, but the injury wasn't bad as it first seemed. The Guatemalan international is also an ex-Pompey player. He was on loan at Fratton Park from Peterborough in 2012, but didn't score in the 8 games he played. For Portsmouth, Tino Andrew makes a return, and is someone that can provide a different dimension to the side, but it looks like Canon Lang will still be out. Colby Bishop had a great game last time out, scoring twice, but Yengi has also been brilliant up front, for club and for country. Both of them are definitely giving Messino a headache. Yengi is also top of the goals per 90 list in League One for players who've played more than 10 matches, while Bishop is top of the expected goals list. We could see Bishop playing that deeper role like he did against Peterborough. I think Bishop did really well in that game, playing a bit deeper. I think him and Yengi work well together. Whether they should for the Derby game, it's going to be a tough call, but it's a very good problem to have. 2 really good strikers, but you can't fit Sadie into that system, who's also in great form. I think this is a lineup that I go for the Derby game. See Norris in goal, back 4, Ogilvie, Shaughnessy, Raggett, and then Rafferty. You could play Swanson though, he's not really put a foot wrong to be fair in the last 2 games he's played. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, but I just think I take the experience of Rafferty. I think he suits a game like this a bit more. I think his relationship with Kamara is really good, and I think that's something that would suit this game more than Swanson's skill set. Midfield, double pivot of Pack and Moxon. I think that's pretty nailed on. I think many would argue with it. You could play Pitt Harris there, but he's not as good in that deeper role. You could play a handful of other people there, but I think, especially in a big game like this, those are the 2 that you definitely want. Lane on the left, Kamara on the right, and then what I was talking about, Bishop playing deeper. It's 2 up front, but Bishop, drops deeper, and then Yengi up front. Again, you could play Sadie there, in behind, you could play Bishop up front, you could, like, loads of different options, but I think this is what I would go for. Abu Adams scored his first goal for Derby against Blackpool since being loaned from Cardiff in January. Pompey could be promoted as early as next weekend for Shrewsbury at home. It would require results elsewhere to go our way, and more importantly for us to win our games, but it could be done, and this match will be a massive influence on that. If we beat Derby, we will win the league. Not mathematically, but I think it will take a lot for them to catch up, especially with the game in hand. However, we lose and it will be really close. Let me know who you think will win, and let me know your score predictions. I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw, which is what I've been saying all week. My brain is saying 1-1, but my heart is saying 1-0 Pompey. I think it's going to be tight, close like the Peterborough game, where one moment changes the game. And on that note, we do have a very good record against teams around us at the top of the table fighting for promotion. Hopefully that can continue on Tuesday. We can beat Derby at Fratton Park, under the lights, for the Sky cameras. As I mentioned, one of the biggest games for both clubs in a long time. This will be massive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more Pompey and League One, hopefully next season championship content. Goodbye.